welcome to EduSearch Clinics. I am Dr. Gunjan Desai, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this brand new series of EduSearch called Patient Talks. So first of all, I would like to introduce you to the series. So all of us have a lot of questions regarding our health, why we have a particular symptom, how can we lose weight, why do we have some disease if we have it, what are the precautions to be taken for healthy lifestyle, do I have cancer? So all these questions are commonly asked in our outpatient department, and as is the motto of EduSearch, which is to spread surgical education as well as awareness on the commonly encountered medical and surgical diseases in the day-to-day life. Patient Talks is our attempt to connect to our patients and answer these common questions that all of them may have in their mind, so that all of us can be in charge of our health. It gives us great pleasure to launch this series on the World Cancer Day, which is an attempt of the Union for International Cancer Control, or UICC, to spread awareness on cancer and to create action at different levels to educate the masses regarding what is cancer, how it can be treated, why it happens, what are the symptoms when you should meet your doctor. And these all actions in turn will lead to reduction in the number of advanced cancer cases that we see in our country today. Cancer is one of the greatest challenges that we face as doctors, as patients, as well as family members. And this initiative of Union for International Cancer Control is hence supported by EduSearch Clinics. And that is why in the first series of Patient Talks launching on 4th February, World Cancer Day, I, Dr. Gunjan Desai, pledge as per the logo of World Cancer Day that I am a doctor, a cancer surgeon, and I will help spread awareness regarding the cancer as a disease to help patients maybe prevent or at least detect the cancer at early stages. So let us dive into the digestive tract cancer awareness series of the Patient Talks. So before we go into the specifics of digestive tract cancer, why it happens, what are the risk factors, and how to prevent or detect it early, let us have an overview of some common risk factors of cancers in the body, which are the most common cancers, and their preventive strategies overall or in general. So why we are studying this? We are looking at this because if we see the data worldwide, around 10 million people die of cancer per year since last few years, and this number is steadily growing. And that is why cancer is one of the biggest challenges that we face today in our world. How this affects our life is it affects the healthcare system, it affects the family of the individual, and these are lives which should not have been lost. Many of them can be prevented. In fact, more than one third of them can be saved if we detect the cancer early. If we see this in India, estimated number of people living with the disease is around 2.25 millions, and this number is steadily growing. If we see total deaths due to cancer in a year in India, it is more than 7 lakhs, out of which males are more than 4 lakhs and women are more than 3 lakhs. So this is the number of deaths due to cancer per year in India. If we see overall cancer statistics, oral cavity cancer and lung cancer, both of which usually occur due to tobacco consumption in different forms, account for more than 25% of cancer deaths in the males. And in females as well, cancer of oral cavity, and breast cancer, for which again tobacco consumption is a risk factor, accounts for around 25% in females. So when we focus against cancer and attempt to prevent cancer or detect it early, we need to know which of the cancers are more common. So if we see the Indian data overall in women, breast, lip and oral cavity, cervical cancer, lung cancer, and stomach cancer. These are the five most common cancers. Whereas in men, oral cavity, lung, stomach, colorectum, and food pipe or esophagus cancers are the most common cancers. And these are the cancers which account for around 50% of all cancers. Again, if we know the risk factors for these cancers, you will see that we can prevent a lot of them or at least detect a lot of them in an early stage. So let us now see what are the common risk factors for a cancer to happen in the body, especially the 5 to 7 most common cancers that we have seen. Most common risk factor that we have seen is tobacco consumption, which can be smoking, passive or active smoking. So it can be cigar, cigarette, pipe, or any other form, or chewable tobacco consumption. Alcohol is the second most common risk factor which causes a lot of cancers, including liver cancer and pancreatic cancer. Obesity and physical inactivity is linked to a lot of cancers, both digestive tract as well as non-digestive tract cancers. Infections such as HPV or human papilloma virus infection is very commonly associated with cervical cancer as well as anal cancer as well as some cases of esophageal cancer. Similarly, Helicobacter pylori is a bacterial infection of the stomach which is again linked to lymphoma as well as gastric cancer or stomach cancer. Now, if we combine all these risk factors, they account for more than 50% of the cancers occurring in the human body in both males and females. And if we take efforts to control these risk factors, a lot of cancers may be preventable. So, this is one of the action areas that we need to focus on in our lifestyle, that is to omit tobacco, at least limit the amount of alcohol to safe limits, physical activity, exercise to control obesity, control weight, and HPV and H. pylori infections are easily treatable, and these will help us prevent a lot of cancers in our society. Now, a lot of patients ask us, could we have detected cancer early? And a lot of friends and family members, as well as people in the community, think whether there are any signs by which they can detect cancer early. So, overall, in the body, whenever you see any of these points that we are going to discuss now, it is imperative that you should meet a doctor to rule out a disease which may or may not be cancer. So, what are these red flag signs or the signs when you should consult your doctor immediately? The first is long standing cough or change in voice. So, any cough which stays longer than a month or associated with change in voice should be reported to a doctor. Long standing sore throat again should be reported to a doctor. Long standing difficulty in swallowing or difficulty in evacuating feces. That is when you feel that you have incomplete evacuation of stools and you are repeatedly going for motions. This is also a risk factor for colorectal cancer. Difficulty in swallowing, on the other hand, is a probable symptom of esophageal disease which may or may not be cancer. These two are very important points. Whenever you have loss of appetite or decreased appetite, that is, you don't feel hungry, and you have weight loss which you did not want, that is, you are not voluntarily losing weight, but you are having weight loss. These two are very classical signs of having a disease like cancer in the body. However, these two don't happen only with cancer. There are other illnesses, including psychosomatic illnesses, when you have loss of appetite as well as unexplained weight loss. Hence, these are signs which should make you consult a doctor, and it should not create fear in you that you have cancer. So, going ahead, change in bowel or bladder habits. Very commonly seen in colorectal cancer is alternating diarrhea and constipation. Similarly, change in urinary habits. Any bleed or discharge from the body, such as bleeding per vaginum after menstruation is over, that is, after menopause, bleeding per rectum anytime, bleeding in vomitus, or bleeding in cough. All these are red flag signs when you should at least consult a doctor. Feeling of lumps anywhere in the body. This is most commonly seen in breast, neck, underarms, as well as groins. However, if you feel a lump anywhere in your body, you should meet your doctor. Another point which merits a consultation is a strong family history, especially in young people. When there is a strong family history of cancer, this is a very important area where you can be screened for presence of cancer, and it can be detected very early or even prevented in some cases. I would again highlight that these are not classical symptoms of cancer as such, but these are the red flag signs when you should at least consult a doctor to rule out presence of a disease which may be cancer. So once we have seen the red flag signs when you should meet a doctor as well as the risk factors, now we come to the key point of this awareness series, and that is what you can do about reducing these risk factors in your life so that you may be able to prevent or at least detect the cancer early. So, first, we will see the preventive measures, and the most important preventive measures are in lifestyle and diet. In lifestyle, one of the most important factors is physical activity. And studies have shown that if you exercise 30 minutes in a day, each day for a week, or at least more than 250 minutes in a week, you can prevent most of the non communicable diseases, including cardiac, lung related, as well as cancer. So, this is one of the very important preventive measures that you can include in your life. Second is very commonly asked question, that is how can you modify your diet so as to lead a healthy lifestyle. So the few of the modifications that are recommended are increase in fresh fruits, high fiber vegetables. Note that it is fresh fruits and not juices. Fresh fruits are better than juices because the fiber part of the fruit is left out in the juices, and some of them contain high content of sugar. Include antioxidants, especially natural antioxidants in diet. Avoid hot beverages or limit its consumption. Omit or at least minimize alcohol. And there is no safe limit for tobacco consumption, so smoking and tobacco should be stopped. Again, if you have diabetes or obesity, it should be controlled at the earliest, as these two factors also lead to a lot of long-term problems in health. So these are the common preventive measures that you can use to prevent yourself from any cancer, as these are the most common risk factors for a cancer to happen in a human body. Again, Few other points, as I have told, if you have a family history of cancer, that is, if you have one, two, or more relatives, especially mother, father, and first degree, second degree relatives with cancer, this is one of the strongest factors where you can consult your doctor and get enrolled in a screening program or a counseling program so as to detect cancer early. Again, if you have personal history of a disease, for example, Barrett's esophagus, which is a food pipe disorder which has a risk for cancer, or ulcerative colitis, which is a commonly encountered colonic disease or large intestinal disease, which again predisposes to cancer. Patients with these diseases should be on regular follow-up with a doctor so that their organ is under surveillance and the cancer can be detected at the earliest. Self-examination is very important, especially in females for breast and neck and underarms for lymph nodes. Immunization to prevent infection, especially cervical cancer in young females against human papilloma virus. Vaccination can prevent a lot of cancers in this age group. Similarly, hepatitis B vaccination in the family of patients with hepatitis B or regular immunization of hepatitis B can prevent a lot of liver cancers. So these are some of the preventive measures that you can very easily use to protect yourself from cancer and lead a healthy and happy life. This is one of the most important slides in this talk. And this is because there are a lot of misconceptions, superstitions, as well as taboos as far as the word cancer and the disease cancer is concerned. There are a lot of false beliefs and superstitions. And as they say, fear arises from superstition and it affects your approach to a doctor. Many times you will not go to a doctor because of this fear or presence of taboos in society, and hence these misconceptions need to be cleared. So let us see them and clear them. First misconception is that if you ignore the symptoms that we have discussed, cancer will not happen. And obviously, this is wrong. If you notice the red flag signs or the symptoms, as we will discuss in upcoming digestive cancer awareness series, you should consult a doctor as early as possible. The second misconception is that cancer is contagious. Of course, cancer is not contagious. Even for cancers that arise due to infections, the cancer itself is not contagious. It is the disease which can sometimes happen due to the infection. And this can be avoided by taking proper precaution. A lot of people are scared that if they have a family history, they will surely have cancer. Again, this is a misconception. All patients with family history do not have cancer. It is only a few of them which will have cancer. But if you are under surveillance, you can be detected early. If I do not eat sugar, I will not get cancer. This is again a very commonly quoted belief. And again, this is wrong. My mindset affects cancer growth. This is a bit controversial, but scientifically, this is wrong. Your mindset can affect your well being, and a positive attitude definitely affects the response to treatment to cancer. However, cancer growth per se is not affected by mindset because cancer itself is unregulated and autonomous. And autonomous means that it will not be affected by any factor in the body. I will do all the treatments and best possible tests. Again, this is wrong. Your doctor selects tests and treatments which will work the best for you, and hence you should leave this decision with your doctor. You need to trust your doctor and allow him or her to plan your treatment. cancer treatment is horrible than the disease itself. Again, this is not true because now we have a lot of medications which help control the symptoms and adverse effects of the treatment. And the treatment is now very well tolerated compared to in past. I can do nothing to stop cancer from happening. It's destiny. Again, this is wrong. As we have already discussed, if you take precautions, if you employ good lifestyle measures and preventive measures in your life, you can prevent cancer from happening or at least detect it in a very early stage so as to achieve cure. If it is stage 4 cancer, there is no treatment. Again, this is wrong. Now, with advances in modern medicine, stage 4 cancer is also treatable. Though cure may not be possible, but surgery, chemotherapy, radiation are all options, even in stage 4 cancer, as per the site of the cancer and the extent of disease, as well as the patient well being. So, this is again a misconception. Hence, beware of cancer definitely, but be aware of these facts so that you are not afraid of cancer and take these preventive measures in your life so as to lead a healthy and happy life by being aware. Thank you.